Welcome to today's story. In this video, you will hear a powerful journey about losing everything and learning what truly matters. Listen closely and think about what real success means in your own life. My name is Tom, and this is my true story. I used to be a wealthy man. I had it all: a huge house, fast cars, and lots of money. People respected me and wanted to be like me. I felt powerful and important. I thought nothing could touch me. My life was full of luxury. I bought the best clothes, the best food, and the best cars. I never worried about the future, only about today. Every morning, I woke up in my giant bedroom. The bed was soft, and the air was fresh. My workers made my coffee and brought my breakfast on a silver tray. I never cooked or cleaned. I never worked hard. Life was easy. I looked in the mirror and smiled at myself. I saw a successful man and believed I would always stay on top. I had many friends, or I thought they were my friends. They laughed at my jokes and came to my parties. They enjoyed my money. I paid for everything and liked the attention. I believed they cared for me. I never wondered if they would stay if I had no money. I was sure they would never leave. One day I stood on my balcony. The city below looked so small. People on the streets walked quickly, working hard, looking tired. But I was not like them. I was different. I had no worries or fear. I felt like a king. I thought my money would last forever. I was wrong. I kept spending more. I bought more cars, took expensive trips, and gave my friends big gifts. I wanted more fun and more excitement. I never thought to save. I was sure the money would last. I was blind to the danger. Then one day, my business had trouble. I lost some money. At first, I did not worry. I thought I could fix it. I thought it was small. But the problem grew bigger. I did not want to believe it. I kept spending and living the same way. I refused to change. I thought things would get better, but they did not. My business lost even more money. I had to sell one of my cars, then another, then my big house. My friends stopped calling. They stopped coming to my parties. I was not rich anymore, so they did not need me. I sat alone in a small apartment. My phone was silent. No one cared. That's when I understood. My money was gone, and so were my friends. My power had disappeared. My big life was finished. I was alone, with nothing and no one. I thought I was a king, but now I was just a man with nothing. I didn't know what to do or where to go next. My story was only beginning. I sat alone in the small apartment. It was dark and quiet. There was no big bed, no silver tray, no soft pillows, just a simple chair, a small table, and a hard mattress on the floor. I looked around. This was my new home. It felt empty and cold. I had lost everything. My old life was gone. I could not believe how fast I had fallen. I picked up my phone. There were no messages, no calls. My friends used to call every day, asking for parties, dinners, or trips. Now they were silent. I looked through my contacts. So many names, but I knew the truth. They didn't care about me, only my money. Now that it was gone, they disappeared. I was alone. I walked to the window. People outside moved quickly. They had families, jobs, and places to be. I used to be like them. No, I used to feel above them. I looked down at the street. Now I was just another person. Nobody looked up at me. Nobody cared that I was there. I felt small, like I was invisible. I remembered my old life, the parties, the expensive clothes, the loud music, the nights full of fun and laughter. Those memories hurt now. They felt far away, like a dream that was over. I wanted that life back, but it was too late. I had made my choices, and now I was paying for them. My stomach growled. I opened the fridge. There was only a bottle of water, some bread, and old cheese. That was all. I used to eat at the best restaurants with the most expensive food. Now I had to save every penny. I sat down and ate slowly. The bread was dry, the cheese was hard, but I had no other choice. This was my life now. I needed a job and money, but I had never worked like normal people. I had always been the boss, giving orders. Now I had to start from the bottom. I had no skills, no experience. Who would hire me? Who would give me a chance? The thought scared me, but I had no choice. If I wanted to live, I had to change. The next morning I left the apartment. I walked through the streets looking for work. I went into shops, restaurants, and offices. Every place gave me the same answer. No experience, no job. People looked at me with doubt. They didn't see a strong man or a leader anymore. They saw someone lost, someone with nothing. I had never felt so weak before. That night, I lay on my mattress, staring at the ceiling. My body was tired, and my heart was heavy. I had no job, no money, and no friends. But for the first time, I understood something. I was not special. I was not untouchable. I was just a man like everyone else. If I wanted a future, I had to build it myself. The days moved slowly. My money was almost gone. My fridge was empty. My pockets had nothing but dust. I needed a job to survive. But no one would hire me. I had no skills, no experience, and nothing to offer. The man who once had everything now had nothing. I walked through the streets looking for a chance, but every door stayed shut. Everyone gave me the same answer. I sat on a park bench watching people pass by. They had jobs, families, and things to do. They looked busy and important. I used to feel like that too. But now I felt lost. Before I chased luxury. Now I was chasing something simple, just a stable life. I had never worried about food, rent, or bills. Now those were my biggest fears. Life had changed, and I struggled to accept it. One evening, I saw a small restaurant with a sign that said, "Help Wanted." My heart raced. Maybe this was my chance. I took a deep breath and went inside. The place smelled of fried food. The floor was sticky. The workers moved quickly, shouting out orders. It was loud and busy, nothing like my old world. I paused. Could I really work here? Could I handle it? But I had no choice. I needed money. I walked to the counter and asked for the manager. A man in a white apron came forward. He looked me over. "Ever worked in a restaurant?" he asked. I shook my head. "No, but I can learn," I replied. He sighed, unimpressed. "We need fast workers, hard workers. Can you clean tables, wash dishes?" I hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Yes." He handed me an apron. "You start tomorrow," he said. My heart jumped. I had a job. It wasn't fancy or powerful, but it was something. I walked home that night with a strange feeling. I had worked so hard to be rich, to feel above others. Now I was starting at the bottom. It hurt my pride, but I knew it was my only choice. The next day I arrived early. The kitchen was hot and the work was tough. I washed dishes, cleaned tables, and carried heavy trays. My back hurt, and my hands were sore. My old life felt far away. No more silk suits or gold watches, just sweat, soap, and tired feet. It was not easy, but for the first time, I felt something real. I was earning my place. After my shift, I sat outside. My shirt was wet with sweat, and my legs ached, but I had money in my pocket. It wasn't much, just a few bills, but it was mine. I had earned it. No one handed it to me. No silver tray. I stared at the money for a long time. It was the smallest amount I had ever held, but it meant the most. That night, I lay on my mattress, thinking about my day. My hands were rough, and my body was tired, but my heart felt stronger. I had believed money made me powerful, but I learned real strength came from something else. Effort, struggle, and starting again. I had lost everything, but maybe I was beginning to find myself. The weeks went by, and I kept working. My hands became rough, and my back hurt. But I didn't stop. I came early, stayed late, and did my best. The work was hard, but I was learning. I learned to move quickly, to stay on my feet, and to handle stress. Every night, I went home exhausted, but I was not empty inside anymore. I was building something new. I was changing. I started to notice things I had never seen before. The restaurant workers were not rich, but they were happy. They laughed, helped each other, and worked as a team. They did not care about fancy clothes or expensive cars. They cared about doing their work well and supporting each other. It was strange. In my old life, I had everything, but I was never really happy. One evening after work, I sat with an older worker named Mark. He had worked there for years. He wiped his hands and looked at me. "You work hard," he said. "That's good, but you need patience too." I nodded, but I didn't fully understand. I still dreamed of being rich again. I thought money was the answer. But something was changing. I was not alone at night anymore. At the restaurant, I had people to talk to, people who did not care about my past. They didn't ask about my money or my cars. They just saw me as another worker. And for the first time, I didn't feel like an outsider. I felt like I belonged. I saved my money carefully. Every dollar counted now. I no longer wasted it on useless things. Instead, I paid rent, bought food, and saved a little. It was slow, but it was progress. I thought about my old friends who had left me. They never worked hard for what they had. They never knew what it was like to struggle. Maybe that was why they were never real. One night, I looked in the mirror and saw a different person. My face was thinner, my eyes more focused. The proud smile I used to have was gone. I no longer saw a rich man. I saw a worker, a man trying to start over. It felt strange. I had lost so much, but I didn't feel as lost as before. For the first time, I felt a bit proud. At work, I watched the manager carefully. I saw how he solved problems and kept the place running. I listened, I paid attention, and I started to understand. I was no longer just cleaning dishes. I was learning how a business worked, even a small one. For the first time, a new thought came to me. Maybe, just maybe, I could build something myself one day. That night, I lay awake looking at the ceiling. My dreams had changed. I didn't dream about gold watches or big parties anymore. I dreamed about a small place, a simple life, something I made with my own hands. It was still far away, but I was on a new road, a better one, and for the first time in years I felt hope. Months went by as I kept working. The job that once seemed impossible felt normal now. My hands moved faster, my body got stronger, and my mind was clearer. I wasn't only washing dishes anymore. I helped in the kitchen, took orders, and even trained new people. The manager noticed. One day he pulled me aside. "You've learned a lot," he said. "If you keep going, you could move up." His words stayed in my mind. For the first time, I saw a future there. Maybe I wasn't just surviving anymore. Maybe I was growing. I didn't think about my old life every day now. That felt like a different world, one that no longer fit me. My mind was on the present, on the small wins. The first time I worked a busy night without mistakes. The first time a customer thanked me. The first time I got a small raise. These moments felt better than any expensive party because they were real. They were mine. One night after work, I walked home through the cool air. The city looked different now. Before I saw it from high balconies. Now I saw it from the street. But somehow it felt bigger, more alive. I had spent so much time chasing money, thinking it would make me happy. But happiness was not in things. It was in having a purpose, in working hard, in people. I finally understood. That night, I sat at my small table with a notebook and wrote down ideas, simple business ideas, realistic ones. I was still far from my dream, but for the first time, I had a real plan. My journey was not over. In many ways, it was just starting. And for the first time, I was not scared of what came next. I was ready. The days turned into weeks, and I kept going forward. My savings grew little by little. I watched, learned, and planned. I didn't rush this time. I had learned. Success wasn't about going fast. It was about being patient, working hard, and making smart choices. Slowly, a new road opened up in front of me, one I was making with my own hands. One day I spoke with the manager about my idea. A small food stand, simple but good. He listened and then smiled. "You've come a long way," he said. "You think the right way now." His words meant a lot. Months before, I was just a man who had failed. Now I was a man with a plan. I wasn't chasing wealth anymore. I was chasing something better. Stability, purpose, a life I could respect. With time, I saved enough to start. It wasn't much, just a small cart on a busy street, but it was mine. I worked every day cooking, serving, learning. It was hard, but I loved it. I was no longer someone who spent money without care. I was someone who knew its true value. Every dollar I made felt honest because I earned it. One evening, I looked at the city around me, the same city where I had once felt powerful, then lost, and now reborn. I had fallen, but I had gotten back up. Not as the rich man I was before, but as a stronger person who knew what really mattered. I had lost everything, but in the end I had found myself, and that was worth more than any money. If this story inspired you, please like the video, leave a comment to share your thoughts, and subscribe for more stories that help you practice English and reflect on life. Thanks for watching.